Hello and what's up everybody? This is Blaze. I'm doing a bit of a critique slash instructional video for someone that is doing a commission for me. And I'm very pleased with most of it. I think they're a very great artist. They're very professional and nice. It's Mizuki Studio, if you guys don't know. And I wanted to give her a little bit of a tutorial to help her out. There were some fundamental issues that I saw with the pedal pumping in the video that I want to address. And I hope this helps. So here I have a scene, very simple scene. It's Mina from Pokemon Masters. We don't really care what's going on with her face here, but the textures up here are kind of jacked up, but you see she's in the driving position. And just set this scene up very quickly here. Now, what I usually see people do is that they'll come in here and here's, you got the pedal moving like this, right? It moves forward. And it comes down and it comes up. That's what we got right here. That's what I set up here. Now, what most people will do is that they'll grab the ankle of the character because you think, okay, the ankle is what rotates when you push down a pedal. So looking at this pedal here, we have keyframes on 1, 3, 5, 23, and 35. So on 1 and 3, it's being pushed down. At 23, or I'm sorry, at 5, it's all the way down. 23, it's still held down, and then it travels back up on frame 35. So this is what most people do. They'll set a key where it should be. Okay, the pedal's here, it comes down here. We rotate the ankle. Oh, 1 second, her toes are stuck. Let's fix that. All right. And what people will do is they'll do this, like they'll rotate it. Just like that. And they think, oh, that's her pushing the pedal, right? And then, but what about the rest of this distance? Well, what most people will do is they'll just go and okay, so just get rid of this frame here, right? It's fine. Copy this frame and then just paste it. And that'll be the extent of how far she pushes the pedal. And then they'll copy the frame here. And they'll do this. This is typically what I see. And they'll, some people will take the time to go, okay, so let me come into the graph editor here and just auto that. And then, cool, it works. The pedal goes down, it comes up. You copy the frame here, the beginning frame, because it's a loop. Hold on, I got a little mixed up here. Set your keyframe here, back up at 35, pull her foot back up. And there you go. That's your pedal push. This is what most people do. This is your pedal push right here. The issue with this is that this is not how ladies' ankles or just human anatomy works in general, not just poor Mina here, but how everybody works. If you were to take your foot and push a pedal, it would not look like this. But this is what most people do. Now, some people say, oh, that's acceptable, but no, this is not something that you should do. There's issues with this where her toes are sliding down, as you could see. When she's holding it, she comes back up. The pedal slides and clips to her foot as she comes back up. This is unacceptable. And the way to fix this is to move the entirety of her leg. Because if you look at her leg here, the animation is focused on her foot, sure, but her leg should be moving too, and it does a little bit there, but that's because the HIK system in Maya, that's a video for another day. But what we want to do, how do we fix this? So what we want to do is we want to go to frame 3 without changing any keyframes, and we want to, first of all, if your character has toe joints, you want to rotate the toe joint up. Now, let's say you don't. Let's say that you don't have that ability. That's not going to happen, right? And this, you're like, but Blaze, is the best I can do. Okay, that's fine. Still, I want you to rotate the character's foot up. Align it with the pedal. If you're not using Kane's script, okay, where the character's foot moves, the pedal moves. If you're just trying to do this manually, then take your controller and move that foot down. I want you to move her whole foot and then even rotate it again. That's fine. But you can see that's a little more real to life, even if you don't have a toe controller. to operate and move the toes, you can still do it. And of course, if you don't have the script, make sure you line her feet up correctly. Make sure there's no clipping on the pedal so it still looks correct. And you see, you can already see it looks so much better. Her foot's coming down, she's pushing the pedal. And then, and guess what? Even then, you can take it even further, because in order for the clutch to activate on most cars, you would need that to somewhat get close to hitting the floor, like here. And shout outs to Philip Nova as well, also known as Goombaxon on DeviantArt for the rigs and models here for the pedals in the car. But you want to still do your best to rotate that foot and move that as far as you can. Okay. Now we're still focused with mostly, like in the scene, Mina's foot, we're focused on Mina's feet. So if there's like clipping up here or whatever like that, that's fine. It's an easy fix. You grab the chair, maybe move it down and move it back a little bit to kind of keep, if you're going to come, like let's say you're going to have a camera travel up her leg or something like that. But what you want to do is something like that, okay? You want to, even if you're just using this controller, and you can already see how much better that is. And you obviously, you want to copy your frame, not cut your frame, copy your frame, paste your frame, repaste it, and then make sure you do the same for this pedal. Copy that frame, paste that frame there, paste that frame there. And you see now it just looks that much better, even without using the toe control. You're having a bit more control over how that looks, and that already looks exponentially better already. And you want to make sure that you copy that frame here, make sure there's no movement on that. And just like that, you have already fixed your animation. I have the luxury of a graph editor. A lot of, from what I understand, people have been telling me that there's no real graph editor here, but just auto that. It should look a little better. Sometimes it can get a little wonky, but as you can see, her foot stays put right there. And you know, obviously I've done moving hold instruction information videos and all the other stuff, but let's say we want to add a moving hold, because if you look at this animation, the issue here is that her foot's just planted, right? She puts it down and she just holds it there. And that's not really true to life either. So let's go ahead and give this a little more space here. Let's delete this frame with the pedal. We'll push that down there, and then we'll move her foot a little bit at 5 frames. Typically we want to have nothing more, like a clutch push and a hold is it's not going to be 2 frames. That's too fast. Maybe like 4 to 6 frames depending at 24 FPS. And you should always be animating at 24 FPS down here. That helps keep your animations consistent. So you push her foot down, and it's just kind of, you see this, all this space right here. She's just, poor Mina is just stuck there. So if you want to emphasize her pressing against this, what I typically do is I would just simply lock her toe here, grab the ankle controller, and just move it up. Okay. And it's very simple, because the effect that you're going to do, and for this particular model, her heel raises a little bit. It just makes it look like she's holding it, you know, or she's firmly pressing it. And then she comes up, right? It's very simple. That way you're not just looking at that for that long, you know what I mean? And even then, you know, you can, a clutch push and shift of gears is no more than, I think, 25, it's between 25 to 48 frames. This one's about, it's a little longer than that, or a little shorter than that. But typically what I would do is I would come up here, and then I would animate her shift. I'll cut the camera, focus on her hand, and have her shift the gear, then come back down here about frame 23, and then she'd pull her foot back up. And that's, you know, that's the best way to do that. Let's say you don't have the luxury of pinning this, and let's say you don't have any of that type of stuff where you can just easily lift the foot and all that. Let's say you don't have that stuff, right? Let's go ahead and go back. Let's say you don't have the luxury of that. Like the Blaze, I don't have that, right? I can't just lift the foot up. I don't have that in my program. Okay, so you don't have that, right? This is where pulling and pushing this controller will help make this even like look as believable as possible. So let's say you push the, well, let me unlock the toe here because you don't have that. Let's say you're gonna have to do this manually, which is a little more annoying, but let's say you rotate the ankle, right? And you want to keep in mind, you want to kind of come back and forth here. Okay, where was her toe? It was on the edge of the pedal there. Okay, I see that. And then pull her foot down in that direction, maybe, right? Just to kind of give it a little bit of movement, just a little bit of movement. And still, even then, that just looks so much better. So when you play it, you get that, which is still good. It's a lot better than what we had originally started with, which was just rotating the ankle. You see what I'm saying? So look at that. It looks so much better. You get kind of a firmness of it. You get the push, and you can even take it even further, animate the pedal coming down a little bit. You can even, like, for example, I'll give you a quick example of this. Just pull the pedal up like this, and boom, and you see how the pedal's still coming down a little bit, and there you go. Like something like that, you can clean up a bit more to make it look better. Maybe even do like maybe check your graph editor and go, oh, what's going on here? Oh, auto tangents, and the result was 1. There we go. Now you kind of get like a good, nice moving hold there as Mina pushes her foot down and then comes back up. And sure, there's some sliding here. Let's address that real quick. You see how her foot's sliding off the pedal a little bit? That tend to happens a little bit in real life from what I've seen videotaping ladies. Their foot will kind of like slide down or up the pedal as it comes up. But let's say they're barefoot or something, or maybe these sandals here, I highly doubt it, but these sandals have like high traction or something like that. When her foot comes down and she's coming off the pedal like that, you see how the pedal's kind of sliding up her foot like that. And if you want to fix something like that, you would just go to the first frame, check the last frame. Okay, note that it's at the tip of the sandal. The top of the edge of the pedal is at the tip of the sandal there. And then here, it's a little bit lower. Okay, so somewhere we'll add a breakdown frame right about here, right? And then you would grab the ankle again. This is if you have no toe controls. Lift her foot up a little bit, move it down. Okay, let's see. Now what? How does that look? It's still kind of sliding back a little bit. So, and you just play with that until you get a nice result. See, a lot better there. It should have like an arc. So what I mean by that is her ankle should follow a arc. And in Maya, you have this thing called an editable motion trail, where you can see this trail. And when I scrub through this animation, you can see how the arc, how it plays through that loop. So watch that blue line there. See how it turns brown? And then right here at 23, it's at the edge of this dot, her foot dips down and then it comes up like in real life. And you can see here on the pedal, it looks somewhat realistic. Now it's probably dipping a little too much, but we can always you could always go back and tweak that and whatever like that. And that's what makes you a really good, it makes your animation stand out when you take the time to tweak those certain things. But already just a few moments or few minutes, we've been able to clean this up. No toe thing, no using the toes, nothing crazy, nothing really hard, okay? Just something very simple, just translating and moving and rotating the ankle. And it already looks so much better. And then for the original of this, I should say, how it typically looks is this is the end result that I was able to come up with just playing around. See how the toes bend, her heel even bounces a little bit. I wanted to add a little subtle bounce to it, like to kind of show the force that she's putting into pushing that clutch to the floor, because you want to make it seem, if you've ever been in a car, when you push your foot down on the clutch, it's kind of springy. It's not like a gas pedal where you could just kind of, flatten it with minimal effort. Mina's really, you can see she's raising her heel a little bit and she's really pushing that down. So you see the energy transferred from her toe to her heel, bounces a little bit, and she pulls her foot up. This is an old animation. I actually would have, let me come back here, just kind of nitpick myself. I actually would have, to give a little anticipation to her lifting her foot up. Her foot just comes down and then she just kind of comes up, giving the viewer no anticipation. I would add an anticipation frame probably around here, and I would just lift her heel up a little bit like this. see if I can get it to work here. I would pull her heel up a little bit. Even rotate her toes down. I have the luxury of toe controls and stuff like that. And just rotate her foot down. Let's see if it holds here. It doesn't look like it's holding. That's probably because of the animation layers and stuff, but I think you get the idea. You would rotate the foot down and you would kind of almost have her toes coming off of it, and you would move, and I'm going to show it here. It's not going to hold, it's not going to stick, but what you would do is you would move it back so that she looks like she's lifting up off the pedal, like she's kind of like a seesaw. She's like seesawing off of that pedal there. And let me see something. Oh, that explains why it's not working. There we go. So I would add a breakdown. I would add an anticipation is usually, for humans, it's usually around 3 to 4 seconds. Since it's kind of a swift motion, I would typically do it around 3, and then I would just move her foot up, and then I would rotate her foot forward, and I would move her toe back. If I were doing it now, this is an old animation. This is me learning more, and see how she kind of comes off of it a little bit. And that's what I would do to kind of give it anticipation of her pulling her foot back. And I would even play around with a breakdown frame right here and, lift her toes up a little bit to kind of show that she's releasing the pedal, right? Because she's going to release, her foot's going to be faster than the pedal can come up usually. Boom. And yeah, that's just me nitpicking it, but it looks better to me visually. But yeah, there you go. That's a little tutorial there. I hope it wasn't too long, and I appreciate you watching. And yeah, spread the word around. Let's get these new kids, this new blood, up to par with the pedal animations. And I appreciate you guys. Thank you for so much for the support, and I hope you have a great day. And if you have any questions, please let me know. And if you're aspiring to animate, let me know. You can find this. You can actually find this old animation in the animation archive via my DeviantArt page. If you click on the Pedal Pumping Fans journal, let me see if I can pull that up for you without pulling up some crazy porn or something. Yeah, DeviantArt. And then if you head over to my DeviantArt page, right here, Surgemeister, go to Post, and click on For Pedal Pumping Fans, you can actually see the animation here in the mega folder. Just click that. It's public. It's available for everybody. And if you would, by the way, quick plug, if you want to support our efforts and, supporting artists like myself and other artists that I commission, head over to my Blaze Pedal Pumping Patreon. Jump over to the membership. Animation supporter is $3. Not that much at all. It's $3 friggin' dollars, and you get access to the Discord server if you're not in there already, and you get the vote on the next commissions and the artists that we get to commission. You get access to these are bonus benefits. They're not actually benefits that are guaranteed to you because the artists sometimes want to post their commissions or whatever like that to get some notoriety, and that's okay. But you get access to the commission stills archive and the animation commission archive, and we're constantly adding stuff in there. Currently, we have 15 supporters. It's not that much to really commission artists, but I've been paying out of pocket to kind of help with that, so on and so forth. And you go here, I think her name's Mina. She's, yep, right here. And yep, you can see the animation, the old animation here if you want to take a look at it for reference or, do what you do with it. But anyway, thanks again. I'm Blaze. If you have any other questions, just let me know. I'm Surgemeister on Discord, and Blaze Pedal Pumping Productions or Pedal Productions everywhere else. Take care.